Wow, okay. So your underlying energy is the Knight of Swords, like we saw earlier with the King of Wands. So this is definitely fighting for what you believe in. Underneath that, you have the King of Wands. Wow, interesting. So you have the same pairing as you saw earlier. Definitely feeling more empowered, or maybe you found your person and you're definitely fighting for this individual. You definitely want something to happen between you and this person, or you feel like you're fighting for yourself. You're fighting for what you believe in. You're fighting for what makes you you, right? So, getting to the heart of the situation, you have the Knight of Pentacles. For some of you guys, you may be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn as well. Pretty much dealing with the entire zodiac at this point. You know what I mean? Because you got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And we already had the air sign tribe coming up in here. So, we pretty much anybody. So apply it to whoever this is. If it's you, if you have no one in your life, if there's someone that if it's the description. But this is someone that moves very slow moving progress. And you have two knights here, two opposites in a way, because this one charges in without any sort of without any sort of looking, checking first. This person is like gunning it, while this person's a little more cautious, a little more meticulous about how they move forward. And I feel like the challenge is taking things slowly, moving slow, taking your time, because there's some things that obviously need to be kind of understood, or maybe some details that need to be gathered. And this is also someone that may be on the fence as well, not fully committing to something. But they haven't said no either. They're just not necessarily moving in the direction, or they're not making progress fast because they want to get more information. They want to make sure they have everything that they need. Now, what's crossing that is the Nine of Swords. It's due to stress. Now, somebody may be moving very fast, or maybe doing the opposite of the Knight of Pentacles, which is moving fast here, because they're stressed out. The thing is, too, that could be that they're moving slowly because they're stressed out, which I kind of feel that's the case. Somebody may be moving slowly because they're sad, or they're depressed, or they're worried, they're not sure. They have a bit of doubt here. The Nine of Swords, it can be like one of those things that make people kind of clam up and paralyzes them from doing the things that they need to do. It's more the Eight of Swords that kind of paralyzes. But the Eight of Swords, as you see here, the Nine of Swords is blocking. It's this person's the only thing that's keeping them from seeing the situation as what it's supposed to be at face value, right? This person is covering their eyes and they're imagining things that are way worse than what's actually happening. Okay, so I do get this feeling that somebody may be moving very slowly due to some sort of stress, some sort of fear, or some sort of doubt or worry. Now, in the past, there was devil. So the devil coming up in here indicates that somebody may have felt trapped, felt like they weren't able to do what they wanted to do, kind of felt like they were kind of stuck doing a certain pattern, or doing something that, was not very desirable for them. There could have been a toxic relationship here. There could also be that this is indicating here that the devil was someone's addiction. Someone may be feeling very codependent, or there's somebody that's codependent. But all in all, like they get back to the main essence of the devil, is that somebody just didn't feel like they had the control or the power that they thought they did. They didn't think that they had the control of the power when they actually did. And I feel like eventually the person that was involved with the devil did recognize the power. You did, either you or the other person, or both, recognize that there are situations or patterns in one's individual behavior that made them feel that way, not necessarily the circumstances around them. Because you're sure, the devil can look intimidating, but he doesn't care whether you come or go. So it's all about whether or not you feel empowered. Because if you don't feel empowered, you will stay with the devil. If you do, it's the thing. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be you, it could be someone else. Now, in the present, you have the Chariot, which is awesome. This is a really good thing, because you move on from this devil energy to the Chariot, which is victory, progress, moving fast. Like, things are picking up speed, but things are still moving pretty slow because somebody's still stressed out. And I don't know if anyone really sees this as a victory. It's almost like these two kind of work together to be like a Five of Swords situation where there's an empty victory involved. Something that was sacrificed that somebody had to do, and it did give them some sort of benefit, but they're still very stressed out about something. Their stress is keeping them from seeing the victory that they've done, the progress that they've been making. But I feel like that's not going to last them very long, because obviously you have the Ten of Wands here. The Ten of Wands is talking about a burden that you have, and you can decide whether to drop them or to keep you carrying them. But either way, this is up to you what you do with this Ten of Wands. It's the ending of a cycle, sure. And this is something that, you know, like I said, is a burden that you or someone else is willing to carry. But that, at the end of the day, is up to you whether you carry that or not. Divvy it up. Now, with the 10 of Wands coming up here, like I was saying, like somebody is definitely leaving the burden, or somebody has to, you know, there's some burden that needs to be dropped here. And I feel like it has to do with the stress of what happened here. You know, you're going full speed. You have the opportunity to go speed ahead, but somebody's cautious because of this toxic energy that happened in the past. Something that went toxic, something that wasn't very ideal. And I feel like somebody may not want to go in that direction again. But it's not, but fear will perhaps bring this back. Because you have a burden here that you're carrying. I feel like it's the recognition of what this is. I think the burden is the highlight. You know what it is. You know what's keeping you from being able to truly make the momentum, make this, you know, make the progress that you feel like you can make, because you recognize what's keeping you from doing that, which is the stress. But I feel like if you have to replace this energy with love, which is why this card is your ideal. You know, is your goal and ambition. The Queen of Cups. And the reason definitely why I'm saying that this is a victory, perhaps, and somebody else is, you know, somebody may not be seeing or recognizing it. Perhaps it's because of the 7 of Swords here in your external energy. 7 of Swords can indicate voiding things, not seeing things as the way they should be, or just not addressing something. But at the same time, it could be that someone took a leap of faith, and that is what's causing a lot of stress. Right? Somebody may be taking a risk, and even though this person's maybe taking a slow time or being very cautious, this person still has to make, right? Because the Devil card is repeated behaviors that generally don't go anywhere. But this is stepping outside of your comfort zone. And I feel like this person, or you, could be stepping outside of your comfort zone right now and facing your fear. It's still scary. But you end up conquering them. You can conquer them here with 10 of Wands. You can put them down. You can do whatever. But you know what you're holding. You know what's going on. And you can face it. You can face it, you know, with open eyes. The golden ambition, like I was saying before, it's your Queen of Cups. Feeling more in love, feeling good about who you are, knowing how you feel. And it could be this person is someone that you do love, is perhaps finding your ideal partner. Because the Queen of Cups could be your ideal partner. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, feeling your emotions, even though that's a good thing. Your ideal probably maybe you wanted to trust yourself completely by following your intuition. Or you want to trust yourself completely, therefore allowing you to feel like you can trust your intuition. But I feel like this is about a relationship. This is about someone that you love. And I feel like that risk is definitely regarding going in a different direction. But it comes from a balance too. The Chariot doesn't move based off of force. It does it by, it's willpower, but it's balancing your head and your heart, your emotions and your mind. Getting a balance in the situation is what builds momentum. But what's going to throw it off is the stress, is the stress and the worry. The stress and the excessive precautions. The King of Wands is fearless. And this Knight of Swords is fearless too. He just goes charging and knowing what he believes in, knowing that he has what he needs to take care of business. In that regard, he's a warrior. He's a soldier, because he's not going to let anything keep him from doing what he wants to do. But right now, this hesitance because of what could happen that may not be very beneficial to anyone. But everything, that's the thing. Everything is beneficial. There's no such thing as nothing being beneficial. But nobody is seeing it that way because everybody's worried about, well, what if that happens? Or what if this happens? But I think the only thing that matters right now is what you can do in the moment instead of thinking about what could happen in the future. The 10 of Wands, maybe that the 10 of Wands is a projection anyway, because the future is a projection of where you are. It changes by what you decide to do, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Tomorrow, it may change. Next week, it may change. The week after, when I make a new weekly video, this is definitely probably going to change. Your future will never stay the same. It's based off of where you are now to basically, dictate where it goes. And I feel like this 10 of Wands is a projection of where you are because of because of this 9 of Swords. But you've got it. And that's the thing. I don't see anything keeping you or anything that, that's holding you back. Nothing is holding you down. You've got everything. So why is the stress here? What is truly making you so stressed? Is it the fact that you don't trust yourself? Is it the fact that you don't trust the universe? Is it the fact that you don't trust anyone? Is it a trust issue? Because the 7 of Swords is here. Shady. Like it's sneaky and underhanded. It can be. And seeing things straightforward. The worry has to be controlled. The mind part has to be controlled. Your heart definitely is in the right place. Well, your heart will follow along with the right place as long as you understand that you can do what matters is what's happening in the present, not in the future. Now, your outcome, is the 4 of Swords. And that talks about taking a rest, taking a break, a moment to pause. And I feel like that may be a time for reevaluation, You may reevaluate things, reevaluate where you're going, reevaluate what you see as successful and what you see as don't. Reevaluating what you feel and how you see yourself. All in all, this is a break. This is some sort of temporary period of rest. But it's used to heal. To heal whatever's been stressing you out. It's making you so worried so much. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with your romance angels. Love yourself first. Amen. Amen. You gotta love you. And that's why I was saying the Queen of Cups. I thought it was someone else, and it could be that you just want, the ideal thing to do right now is to love yourself. Right? Especially if you got more worry and more fear that something may happen. It's the fact that, and then the 4 of Swords here makes sense. You gotta love yourself before you can love someone else. You gotta love yourself before you can manifest. You have to believe that you can get there. And how you believe is by trusting and loving yourself and being open to yourself emotionally. Not avoiding how you feel, but running toward it. Just want to see what's going on with your messenger of the Oracle. Wow. It says, nurture all you love. And it's very Queen of Cups. Very Queen of Cups. Because the Queen of Cups is very nurturing, very loving, very caring. She's very wise in regards to her emotions and be giving advice. Because, and she's swaying people because she's very good at being in touch with her emotions, and therefore being in touch with others. But the point of nurture all you love is meaning that you take care of those things that you love, especially yourself. You take care of you, you take care of your dream. You get to your dream. It's not worrying about the outcome. It's not worrying about how something will look. It's not worrying about how things will turn out. It's trusting that you will be able to handle whatever situation comes at you when it comes. But the Chariot moves fast, not because you got not just a balance, because you are in the moment with everything. You're in control. You go from not feeling like you're in control to being in control, and you're still stressed. Be careful that you don't overcompensate with this, right? Because the overcompensation will end up being the 10 of Wands. You take on too much because you don't trust or because you're afraid. And you cause yourself more harm. But that doesn't mean that you hate yourself for doing that. You just give yourself more love and compassion and learn to be more passive and be more open to people helping. people, be more open to people wanting to help you, or be more open to help in general. Be more open to allowing people to do something. And I don't know if you've ever had somebody that's, you know, that would have wanted to help, but maybe blackmailed you, manipulated you, done something to you that made you feel like you can't trust people to help you. But that's not everybody. And you deserve to be able to be looked after too, to be cared for, to be loved. But it starts by loving and being and caring for yourself and healing from a situation that was not ideal, that did not make you feel very strong. But you did come out of it stronger. You have to recognize that, right?